Hey, and we're live. What's going on, everyone? Oh, Trish is, man, they're coming in hot, Walter. Look at that.
I love it. I love it.
Watch, right about now, they're gonna just start flying in probably. So everyone, welcome. We are so happy to have you here. What's up, Jen and Sharon? Oh, can't even keep up anymore.
Woo! London, San Antonio, Texas. Ooh, we got someone from San Diego. I
San
like that.
Diego.
I
It's always
saw
so
it.
funny when that happens. I just expect that no one is here near us,
I know, right? I mean, it's
which it
such a
shouldn't
it's
be
such a
that way.
brutal city to live in, you know.
Yeah. Well, everyone, I hope that you guys are super pumped to be here. I'm super pumped because I got my little Photoshop guru buddy, Walter Wilson here.
Uh,
Walter, thank you for coming.
Cole, it's always a pleasure to be here.
So the last time I had Walter was just with the little intimate webinar with Cole's Click members only. And this one I told him is going to be a little bit different. We had, I think, 2,300 signed up. So I'm anticipating a very, very packed room.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are excited. Let us know in the chat box if you're pumped to learn some Photoshop tips and secrets from Walter, because that's exactly what we're going to be dishing out for you guys tonight.
Perfect.
Oh, look at that. Martin from Dubai.
Ooh, this is so cool. Seeing where everyone's from.
I know, it's fun. There we go. Super
Pumped,
excited. So
excited.
pumped.
I love it.
So I gotta warn you guys, the cable guy is here at my house because I just moved. I'm barely getting settled. I hope that we don't hear any like drilling or anything crazy like that. If so, it'll probably be pretty minimal, but let's just say that of that little that 4-hour window that they give you, yeah, they sort of blew that one.
What if he just comes in through like the wall behind you, Cole? That's what I'm like envisioning, you know?
The door just opens up and he's like, hey, can you sign?
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that.
Right on.
Awesome.
Well, okay, everyone. So I know there's going to be a lot more people filing on in. Okay. You can hear me, right? Someone just said, is the volume working for you guys? Well, obviously, because Jenny says, haha, cable guy just left my house. So at this point, you should be seeing our faces. You should be hearing us. And I'm not going to wait any longer because we have an action-packed night for you. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and share my screen. Perfect. Everyone says they can hear us.
All
So
right.
let's go ahead and share the screen. And Walter, can you see my screen?
I can. Yes, I can.
Perfect. Okay. Well, let's jump right on in. So tonight's going to be awesome. Okay. And the reason why I came up with this title, Beyond Lightroom, is many of you have been hearing me for a long time talk about Lightroom. And most recently, we've been talking a lot about the power of Photoshop. This webinar is perfect because it's really going to show you what is possible beyond Lightroom, because Lightroom just isn't enough in many circumstances. And we're lucky that we're going to have Walter actually walk us through some of the things that you can actually do in Photoshop. And of course, those awesome photos that you've been seeing, the photos right here, these are all some of Walter's work. Now, here is why I believe you're here, but I'd like to know from you in the comments exactly why you're here today. What is the number one thing that you want to discover today on this webinar? Please go ahead and let us know in the comments. I'm going to be looking for those comments. In fact, let me take a quick pause and I want to see what you guys see. Okay, quickly, for anyone who says that they can't see anything, or go ahead and hit the blue reconnect button. Go ahead and refresh your browser if you don't see the feed, but you can hear us. Okay, perfect. So we got a lot of people were saying using layers, how to blur out the background. They want an easier way. It's funny because
Layers, here we go.
It's hard to see, but yeah, they're coming in hot. They're coming in hot. Blurry pictures.
A lot of people, yeah, it looks like people want to see liquify. They want to learn how to clone. I'm seeing a lot of cloning, Photoshop editing. We got all sorts of awesome topics here, Cole. It's great.
Perfect. Well, the good news is Walter knows this, but I don't know if they know. A lot of what you are looking forward to learning the most based on your actual comments to us right now is actually what you're going to actually see, because I know what Walter's teaching tonight. And let me tell you, it's absolutely amazing. So buckle up. you're in for a treat. And you know, the whole point is right here today. It's not really about us. This is all about helping you. I asked a while ago on an email, what is the number one thing that frustrates you the most about Photoshop? And 87% of you said some version of this, which is Photoshop is too overwhelming and I don't even know where to start. All right. Well, give me a thumbs up or a amen or a yes, that's me. If that was you, you know, or if that makes sense to you and you're sort of falling into that same trap. And by the way, my hand is up here as well. I know you can't see because that was me. Okay. And for far, far too long, I had that self-doubt that it was going to take me too long to learn, or it was too overwhelming and I didn't need it. And guess what? That was just my own self-limiting belief, my own self-doubt. And, you know, just because I let myself do that for far too long doesn't mean that we're going to let you do that. Of course, we can't force you to do anything, but I want you to know that today, the reason why we're here and the reason why Walter is here sharing his time with us is it's our mission to help you overcome this self-doubt.
Yep.
So here's why all this is important. Your ability to navigate and utilize Photoshop, it's not a luxury. It's really a necessity for the modern photographer. There will be times that your knowledge of Photoshop will save your butt, like it did for me. It saved I almost used a different word than butt, but it saved my butt. But the difference was at the time when I needed it the most, I actually wasn't even able to do it. And as some of you maybe have heard my story, when I had a formal, Walter, I don't even know if you've heard this story, but I'll quickly touch on it.
Yeah.
You know, you and I know how important it is to never miss a formal family portrait at a wedding.
Right. Exactly.
And, you know, with doing over 130 weddings, lo and behold, one wedding, we actually missed a shot. I forget why, or it was just like, oh my gosh. And in the morning, it dawned on me. And I went into this immediate panic, this sick feeling in my stomach. And I realized that I needed to actually fabricate the shot and clone in two people into a shot and make it look real so that my clients wouldn't know that I missed this very important immediate shot. And of course, at the time, I didn't know how to do that. It was embarrassing for me, but I ended up having to call up my friend Laura and I actually hired her to do it. Okay, so that was an instance of how knowing Photoshop will save your butt.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that obviously you can't do in Lightroom. So Lightroom is too limiting for today's photography artists to solely use Lightroom. So luckily for you, we've created editing tools, these things you maybe have heard of called actions, to help you use Photoshop so that you can go in and let go of that fear factor. Because the cool thing is not only going to let you edit your photos better, it's actually going to be teaching you how to use Photoshop at the same time, which is my favorite part of using these actions. Now, before I hand it over to Walter and the actual training inside of Photoshop, I want to share with you what I believe. And I believe that if you solely use Lightroom, you're vastly limiting your photography abilities in terms of post-processing and creating unique images that get people's attention. And of course, all those likes, shares, and comments that we all want on Facebook and Instagram. So because of that, Photoshop is a must-know tool. And that's why I brought Photoshop Pro Walter, who we're so happy to have here, to help show you the power of Photoshop. So for about the next 30 minutes, we're going to be on together for about 45 minutes. And then we're going to do Q&A at the end. But for the next 45 minutes or so, you're going to see some training that Walter's put together for us. Then you're going to hear me a little again for a recap. Then we're going to do Q&A together. And our time here, it's our mission to help you conquer the fear of using Photoshop. Okay? All right. So give me a couple minutes here, not a couple minutes, rather, a few seconds here. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the chat box because I want to go ahead. There's a whole lot of you. There's multiple hundreds of you. The chat box gets a little crazy, okay? It will come back on. All right? So give me just 1 second. I want you all to be able to pay attention. And I want you all to know one more thing. Photoshop, there's so many small little details, and especially on these live feeds, it's really hard sometimes to be able to, for you to follow along as the viewer and see everything that's going on. So I actually asked Walter to go ahead and pre-record this training segment. We're still here with you
Yep.
live, and we're going to come back on
Yep.
and be with you live. But I actually asked Walter to go ahead and pre-record because now he was able to edit it and zoom in and zoom out to help you as the viewer be able to see more.
Right. And this was
So-
recorded today too.
Yeah, like literally a couple hours ago.
Right.
So anyways, without further ado, don't go anywhere. The actual, all the good stuff, all of Walter's secrets are right here, right now. And we will be watching along with you and be back in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Cole. I appreciate it. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead. We got Photoshop opened up here. Let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial, okay? So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to open up our first image here. So I just want to start out with telling you guys, if you know Photoshop and you're using Photoshop, you're going to have just that much more of an edge over every photographer, okay, that doesn't use Photoshop. Lightroom is an amazing program, and I'm a huge fan of it. I usually say, Lightroom can get me about 80% of the way with my photos, and that last 20%, I'm really going to be able to dial in Photoshop, okay? Everything you show, I've beat this, down as many times as I can, but everything you guys show on your website, and this needs to be absolutely perfect. You're always going to be judged on your weakest image, and when you have, those clients coming to your website looking, everything needs to be perfect, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about this photo real quick and the power of Photoshop. All right. So this is a nice little photo I took, at a first dance here at a wedding that I shot in Southern California. It's a beautiful photo. I had it lit up really well. We have off-camera flashes and everything. So we had this ballroom lit up really nice. You got really nice ambient light in here. And everything. So, but there are a couple things that are bothering me about this photo because I do want to use it on my website. All right. So the first thing is we have like Aunt Millie or someone over here taking a photo with a point and shoot camera. Pretty standard issue, right? I mean, how many times has this happened? Second, we have one of the videographers over here just in the way to, it just doesn't look good. It's a distraction from this. Thirdly, we have my assistant here, Edward, who's probably reviewing like a camera screen or something right now, but he's also over here by the cake. And then lastly, we have, an exit sign here that's just taken away, and then a couple things on the floor that we're going to address as well, okay? So we're going to go over cloning in this tutorial here and really kind of the power of getting into Photoshop, okay? So first thing first, I'm going to go over here and select our clone tool. It's about, the 7th tool down here on my palette. So go ahead and select the clone stamp tool. Now this is really important, you guys. A lot of this stuff, you're not going to really know or what it does, and a lot of these defaults are just set fine, right? And I always say this, Photoshop is such a huge program. You guys don't need to know the whole thing. Like, I don't even know the whole thing of Photoshop because there's so many different facets that it's used for. Graphic design, motion, illustration. We're using it for photography. So really, we just have to be good, at editing photos and retouching with it because we're never going to be doing, vector files or creating graphics, I mean, maybe we will, but that's not what we're using it for as photographers, okay? So up here, the only thing I want you guys to really worry about is select current and below. It needs to be selected on current and below for your clone stamp tool. I think by default, it's going to be on current layer, but I want you guys to select it to current and below. Okay, perfect. Now let's go over here to the layers. You guys see that we're on our background layer right now. But remember, Photoshop, one of the beautiful things about Photoshop is that we can use layers for non-destructive editing, right? So if we screw something up or it just doesn't look good, we can just erase that layer and it's not going to have any, damaging effects on our actual image. All right? So I want you guys to come down here and select a new layer. It's right over here by the trash can. So you'll see we have our layer right here, okay? So we have our clone stamp tool selected, and now let's go in here. I'm going to start zooming in on this. And the first thing I want to do is I want to get Edward out of this photo, okay? I'm going to start from this side over, and I'm going to work this way, okay? So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to adjust the size of my clone stamp tool here, and you can do that by the brackets on your keyboard, okay? So let's do this. So I know that there's a pattern here which is going to make it a little more tricky for us to clone stamp out. This is pretty zoomed in, you guys. I mean, what we're zoomed in, gosh, at 300% or something right now, or 400% actually. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but we want to make it as perfect as possible. So by holding Option. You guys come over here, hold Option, and see now you get this kind of little target. And what that is you're selecting that area to be clone stamped on a different area. So I'm going to select this area right here, just kind of in the middle right here. Perfect. Now I'm going to bring it over here and see how it's kind of like just giving me a transparency of what that's looking like. So I can even line it up right here, and I start holding down my mouse, and it's going to give me a nice little clone layer. And you can see we're just cloning Edward out, which is so great. Let's get rid of him. Okay, perfect. All right, now I'm going to even zoom in a little bit more right here because I want to work the edge of this cake. I'm going to lower the size of my brush, and I'm going to just keep cloning in here, right here. Perfect, just like that. I'm going to get as close as I can to that cake without getting on the cake, and voila. Edward is gone. Okay, so let's say we messed up on that. Let's say, you know, we cloned in on the cake or something, you know. All we have to do is come over here to the layer and just trash this layer. All right, so here's with Edward in there, and here's with them out. You know, this is something that would be pretty impossible to do in Lightroom. I mean, there is kind of a clone stamp in there, but as you all know that, you know, that use it, it doesn't work the best. Okay, all right. So secondly, we got this videographer that's in the background. All right, so this one's going to be a little trickier because she's a lot bigger. And, you know, we just kind of have this wall area. We have this and everything here. So when I'm clone stamping out, I like to look for kind of like, I like to look around her, what I can sample around to use to cover her. Okay, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to actually put up another layer because I'm going to be working on this one. Okay. So now let's see. I'm going to use this area over here. So I'm going to like just select the top of this right here. And I'm going to bring it right over here. And you see how we can kind of see, I'm going to make this a little bigger here. We can see it's just bringing it right over on her. So now let's just start selecting here. And just kind of just start getting her out of there. Great. And now what it's doing is bringing over the table, see? So we can select again by holding our Option key down. Actually, let's go over here a little more. Line it up and just bring it down. Just like that. Perfect. And let's do the same here. Bring it right in here and just get her out of there. Good. And I'm going to do that right over here. I'm going to address all this top stuff first. Right here. Great. And a couple more here. Now, I also want to get rid of her shadow in here too. Even though this is super zoomed in, it's important that no one ever like, you know, thinks that, oh, you know, like there was someone there and it was cloned out, you know. So let's try to get rid of as that much as possible. Right in here, great. And then on this last one, I'm gonna just kind of blend that in there a little bit. Kind of like that. Okay, now I'm gonna go back over here, select this part, and just bring this down, get this in here, and keep kind of doing that. Bring that blue in. And all we're doing is I'm holding down Option, clicking, and then just dragging my mouse across it. So we can do this. Perfect. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, down here with the wood, I'm going to make my brush even smaller. And I'm going to handle this tripod leg first. And then what I can do after I clone this out, I can use this whole area to select and then bring it over here on her legs. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of this. And what I'm going to do is just click right here. And then you can see that there's a little like X mark right there, and it's giving me where the sample's pulling from. Okay, so same thing. I'm gonna just go right here. I'm gonna bring it over here past her legs, and just take it one step at a time here. Right there, good. And we got a tripod leg here. Great. And we got this kind of weird thing. Oops. See, I messed up, but just Control Z, bring it in right here. Right there. Perfect. So we got her out, but we got some kind of weird stuff going on here, and we even have a reflection. So let's take care of this reflection. I'm going to show you how we're going to blend this in. So let's go ahead and just select from right here and this over here in this area, because it's pretty much the same texture. So let's select from here, and then just pull it out, and then just right there. Same thing here. And boom, reflection gone. Take care of these couple little marks, okay? So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this brush a little bigger, just like this. And I'm going to come up here to the opacity of this clone stamp tool. I'm going to take it down to about 50%. 49 is fine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select on this area here, and I'm going to just kind of merge this in a little bit, just like that. So the colors kind of merge in, and it looks like a natural kind of shadow. So let's go ahead and let's zoom out. And now as you guys can see, it looks like it's just shadowed out from the table. So it works perfect. That looks really good. No one would ever notice someone was there. And you know, this 4 does look a little funky in here. So what we can do is just kind of bring in some of this light over here since we're already at 40%. Whoops, see, it got a little bit of her leg there. Let's redo that. Just like this. And that looks pretty good. You would never be able to know she was there. Okay? All right. So next thing we got to do is we got to get this lady out here. Isn't this annoying? Oh gosh, man. I can't stand when people think they're going to get like the same shot and it's on an iPhone and I'm sitting here trying to get this shot. So, but anyways, it's okay. So let's go ahead and deal with this, right? We're going to do the same thing. We're going to make another layer here. And I want to come in here, and this one's going to be a little different, if it's a little difficult, okay? Because we don't really have that much around her to select, and then, you know, we don't know what's over here. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm just going to kind of mirror this side over here, and we'll have like double bouquets, because that's pretty common, right? So let's go ahead and start with that. I'm going to just select on this seam right here. I'm going to bring it over right about here. Oh, I need to go up here and take my opacity to full. Yeah, great. Here we go. And I'm just going to kind of work this in right here. Okay, it's not looking too bad. Good. So all we're doing is mirroring those sides of the table. And let's go ahead and bring it down and right in here. So let's go ahead and just sample this area of the ground here to get rid of her legs. Right, just like that. And we have a little weirdness here in the tablecloth, but we can fix that. Let's go right over here and just drag that in just like that. All right, it doesn't look bad. I mean, I don't think someone would notice that, but I do want to just kind of straighten up these drapes right here. So let's go right up here. I'm going to select on here, and then I'm just going to bring this down like that. And voila. Let's make sure, oh, there are some reflections here. Let's get rid of those. And let's see how we're looking. All right, we're looking pretty good. I'm going to go back on this layer and I'm going to select a 50% opacity. And just right in here, I'm going to just kind of get rid of this weird shading by doing this. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select a big area, probably right here because it's a little darker. So I'm going to select right in here. And I'm just going to kind of bring this across just like that, just to kind of break up those textures a little bit, you know, just like that. Maybe one more right here. So let's see that. So that looks a lot better, you guys. We don't have those crazy distractions away. Let's go ahead and just turn these back off like that. All right, so we got rid of Edward, we got rid of the videographer, and we got rid of Aunt Millie. All right, so we are looking awesome. I'm going to do one more layer here, just to get rid of a couple more things. I see like this is one of those plug things right here. So let's go ahead and just select near it and then just boom. Oh, let's turn our opacity back to 100%. And there's like a rose petal here too. Let's get rid of that. And our exit sign, the notorious exit signs, right? All right, you guys, we are looking awesome. I mean, this looks good. You know, if someone was just looking at this photo on my website, they would never know that, you know, all these people used to be in the shot and we got rid of them. So I'm going to add some of our kind of cool actions, our Uptown Collection actions to this too. So I'm going to do, let's see here, let's go down. I'm going to do a little shiplap here. Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? This is going to work. I'm going to do a little shiplap, and this has some cool movable lights in it too, some shaping lights. So let's go ahead and push continue. And let's kind of move this. I want it to look like there's lights coming in from both sides. Awesome. Good. And what I'm going to do, and you guys, with these, with our actions that we have, they're completely customizable. So, you know, this is a little too much of the action, but all I have to do is go over here to the actual action shiplap and then just go down, and I'm going to take it down to about 43%. That looks good right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in one more shaping light here. And now see, these are pretty awesome too. And I'm going to bring in the shaping light and I'm going to put it on this side and kind of just mirror it. And it's going to look like my strobes are kind of coming in. It's going to give it a little more of a drama feel. So yeah, I love that. Just kind of like that little, you know, that flaring. Yeah, that looks good. All right, you guys. So there you have it. We have our after our after photo here, and then we have our before. So yeah, you guys, this is a great little example here of, you know, some cloning. Here we go. We have our before, and then we have our after right here. Okay. So awesome. Let's get rocking on to the next file, because what we're going to be doing in this next one is we're actually going to be dropping in a sky. Okay. Which, let's go ahead. I don't want to save this. Let's bring up this file and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit. All right, here we go. So here we have a little maternity session I did for a past bride. And the lighting is so nice because it is overcast here in Southern California, right? I don't know if any of you guys live on the beach. You probably do, some of you, or the coastline. But you know, sometimes here in Southern California, we get some weird overcast stuff. And it just kind of it doesn't look very good, right? It just looks kind of, you know, just flat in the background, especially the skies. Our lighting's always really nice, but, you know, on skin and everything, but our background just looks gray and murky. So what we've done too in this action pack is Cole and I have included some really amazing sky overlays. Now, if you've never used sky overlays, I'm going to show you guys right now how easy it is to use these things, okay? So I have my image. It looks pretty good, but I want to drop in this sky just to make it look really pretty. Okay, I'm going to open up the sky I want to use. I'm going to bring it right in here to Photoshop, onto this photo. Oops, here, I'll choose it. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to select it, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to bring it right over to our photo. All right, I'm going to resize it a little bit here. Yeah, that'll look good. Let's just do this. And then what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to really quick just push return just so it sets it in place. And I'm going to turn down the opacity over here on the layers of the sky just for positioning, okay? So I'm going to kind of just move it around and see exactly where I want it to go. I know that I want, you know, this cloud up here, so it looks like it's kind of, you know, there's a lot of blue. I'm going to do probably right about there. Just for positioning purposes, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so the second thing I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to put a mask on this. All right, so I've just applied a mask over here to the sky. And now I'm going to select my brush tool. And I'm going to make sure it's on black, because what does black do? It hides what we want on our mask. So I'm going to just really fast kind of paint what I want hidden. I don't want this all showing over here on the sky. I only want the sky in the sky, right? So I'm going to just like really quickly kind of just get her out there right here. And there we go. Okay, so that looks pretty good so far, but we still have a lot of work to do. So secondly, I shot this pretty wide open. I think I was at, you know, f1.4 or something like that. I was pretty opened up. All right, so the thing about it is these clouds are pretty much in focus right now, and it's not really matching up with the background since it's really out of focus and has shallow depth of field. So second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the actual clouds, not the mask. So go click on the clouds, and I'm going to go up to Filter, Blur, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select the Gaussian blur, okay? All right, perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up right here, the little slider, until I feel it has about the right depth of field for that part of the image. So it's really shallow, so I'm going to bring this blur really far up. And what I want to do is kind of gauge these clouds against this canyon over here, this little mountain on the beach right here. So if these clouds are another mile in the sky and this canyon is pretty out of focus right here, I know that those clouds need to be pretty out, right? They need to be pretty far out of focus, okay? So I'm going to go right about there. That's about right, I think, okay? So I'm going to click OK. All right, so now my clouds are nice and out of focus. And now what I can do is select my mask layer again. And I'm going to zoom in on this. And I'm going to go over here and switch to white paint because white reveals. I'm on my mask layer right now. I'm going to shrink my brush a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of bring back this area that I cloned out in here and just kind of get in here nice and tight here and just kind of just really, really kind of just get in here as close as you can to the image. Good. Let's go right into here, just like that. There's some clouds on the horizon there. Good, right there. And then, you know, I can see I just got a little bit on her hair there. I can switch back to my black to cover it, okay? And I'm even going to take my brush and make it a little smaller, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here, you guys. And I'm going to go right here and just really kind of refine these edges. Right here, there's still some clouds on her hair. Just like that. Perfect. And you know, if you had the time, you could really just, you know, if we had the time on this thing, I would be like zoomed in at like 600%, and I would be scraping pixels in here to make sure this is perfect, you know. But for this purpose of this demonstration and time, I know you guys, you know, we need to kind of work through this. I'm going to just make sure that it looks good. So here we go. So this is looking pretty good, but it looks fake to me, right? It's just too much blue sky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to bring the opacity down of this whole layer to where I feel it looks natural. Okay, so I'm going to keep coming down. I'm at 34, 25%. So I feel like right about here, 28% looks pretty natural, you know, like, so let's just turn it off and turn it on. So yeah, that looks pretty good, you know. I mean, I don't think someone would think that's a fake sky at all, you know. I think that looks really nice right there. Yeah. All right, so I'm happy with that cloud. Let's use some of these actions to make this photo look even more beautiful here. So I want to warm it up a little bit because this is at the beach. It's kind of like that golden, you know, hour area. So I want to go ahead and I want to go back to our actions here. And the first thing I want to do is I want to go down to this action that I created called Love It. And I named it that because I actually do really love it. It's a cool little action. It warms everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and push play. And you see like right there how it just kind of made everything warmer, a little more vibrant, a tiny bit of contrast. I love that. I mean, I think it looks beautiful. It definitely looks a lot warmer and a lot more beachy now. It picked up a lot of the warmth here in the sand. I really do love it, okay? The second thing I'm going to do is I want it to look like there's some sun coming in. Obviously, you know, on the west coast here, the sun sets on the water. So I want to make sure that there's just, you know, a little more warmth on this side of the photo. I'm going to use one of our shaping lights here. Let's see here. Let's go down or up right here. I'm going to use, let's use Cabo Days. Right? And perfect. We'll press continue. And all these actions have really nice instructions on them too. So I'm going to go right in here and I'm going to bring the action or the shaping light right here. And now it just kind of adds a little warmth in there, right? You see it's on, off. It just looks like that nice sun kind of warming flares coming in, which is really great. So, okay. And I think it's looking good. Maybe I want to add just a little more color and just bring a little more warmth out of the sand here. I want this picture to look like it's just beautifully warm, kind of golden hour look, okay? So I'm going to go and let's go back up here. And let's go to Del Sur. Yeah, that one will work. Let me see. Here. Actually, let's go to Fields of Gold real quick. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, perfect. So we got that one. Now it's just a lot of warmth, right? So the thing about these actions is you can completely control them. So I'm going to bring the opacity down on this layer, just like that. Perfect. And I'm going to go over, and all these actions have a little mask built into them. So all you have to do is, you know, mask out or mask in what you want applied to. Okay. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to select my brush again, and I'm going to select black paint to cover what I don't want affected. Okay. So I want the sky. I don't want any of the sky to be affected. I want that to be nice and blue. I just want the sand. So I'm going to take her out there, and now I can kind of just see. Yeah, it's perfect. It just gave my sand a little bit of that nice warmth, and I love it. All right, perfect. And let's go ahead and go up here, and let's click on this. I just want to show you guys what it looked like before. So there's, you know, really nice photo. I mean, even before and then after. I mean, you can just see it looks so much more just summertime and just golden, and I'm happy with it now. So, and you know, I mean, I'm I'm talking while I'm doing this. Obviously, it's taking me a little longer, but I mean, these actions are just so fast and just give you so much control too. So before and after, just like that, you guys. All right, perfect. I'm happy with it. Let's move on. And let's go ahead and close this out. We don't need to save that. We'll close our cloud texture out. And, oop, we're not going to close Photoshop though. Let's go in and let's open our last file here. All right. So we got this cool kind of headshot. This is a fashion shoot I did up in Big Bear, which is mountains kind of above Los Angeles there. It was a nice production shoot. It was for a hat and apparel company. And it actually was really snowing, you guys. I was out there freezing holding my medium format camera and shivering while I was taking this photo. So trust me, it really was cold, and that's real snow. So, all right, let's get going on this. A couple things what I want to do real quick is I just want to make a new layer. And I want to clone out just a couple little things here. So let's select our clone tool here. And I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to zoom in nice and tight here. And I just want to get rid of a couple of these little snowflakes right here falling down. Maybe this one right here. And let's just remove that. This one right here. I just feel like we have a couple too many. This one right here. And let's just do this one right here. And I'm just remember holding down Option and then just going right over these things. Okay, perfect. So that looks pretty nice. I like that. So let's go over these actions, you guys, because I really want to show you how awesome these things are. Okay. So I'm going to go up here and let's go to our Sweet September action. All right, so I'm going to select Sweet September. Perfect. And you can already see it just makes such a big difference. It's giving our photos some life. It's really, really nice. So I'm going to bring it down because I don't want so much of an effect on our photo. And remember, these are super, super customizable. So I'm going to bring it down to about 60, yeah, about 65, 64%. Okay, perfect. All right. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little Santa Fe fog here. Let me find it. I love this one. I'll show you guys why I love it too. Yeah, oh, it's up here. I'm going crazy. Sorry, you guys. Okay, and I'm going to push play here. All right, so now you can see, you know, we have our Santa Fe fog. It's a cool effect, but I don't want it everywhere on this photo. I just want it in some certain spots. So what do? We go over here to our mask, select the brush tool, and go ahead and just paint black on where we don't want it. I don't want it on our skin. I don't want it on the shirt. I just want it actually up here on the mountains behind her. I think it looks really cool right there. Perfect, just like that. And we can see now it just kind of gives us kind of like some moody tones and stuff up there to those mountains. I really like that. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to go up here and let's select Torrey Pines. Awesome. So Torrey Pines is a really awesome action. It gives a little bit of contrast. It gives some saturation, some toning. And just a little sharpening too. So you can see with it on, it just looks really, really cool. I really dig the action. So I like it the way it looks right there. That's perfect. Okay. And then I'm going to go down here and I want to use some of our lights here, our shaping lights. So let's go ahead and let's pick Sweet Summer. Perfect. And they give you instructions on all of them. And I'm going to put this one, let's do like right kind of down here in this area. I want it to look like there's some heat and some, it looks nice and warm. Okay, so I got that one, and then I'm even going to change the size of it and make it a little bigger, and this all is customizable, you guys. So these are really easy. I mean, there's this instructions that pop up right when they come up the action. So I like it like that. It almost looks like there's like a fire under her, right? Like a little bit of a glow. Here, let's turn it on and turn it off. I like that. I think that looks kind of cool. So, and maybe just a little too much. So let's just bring the opacity down, the layer opacity. And that looks good right there. Yeah, I like that. It looks like, yeah, like she's in front of a campfire kind of thing. Modeling, right? That's how we do it. Okay, the next thing I want to do is let's do this. Let's do one more light right up in here. Let's do Morning Dew. Yeah, let's do something like that, kind of a different colored light. And let's put this up here in the corner just like that. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. That looks nice. I'm happy with this photo. So let's go back here and let me just take a little shot of this to show you guys what it looked like before. You know, still a good photo, you know, but and then the after, right? I mean, look at that, you guys. I mean, just with like 5 easy actions that you just had to click and push play, you know. I mean, look at this. It takes your photos and just transform them, you know. That's how we design these actions to be really, really simple, user friendly, but extremely, extremely powerful. So you guys have seen what these Photoshop, you know, how powerful Photoshop is and how awesome these actions are, and how easy they make editing in Photoshop. So let's jump back to Cole on this presentation. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. So for everyone out there, we're going to keep moving along. We are not done yet. What I want to know from you've seen how powerful Photoshop is. You've seen some of Walter's awesome tricks and some of the things he could do. I want to know, you know, I want you to think, what would life be like if you understood Photoshop and could produce stunning images just like you saw from Walter? And I know the biggest thing is most of us, we think that we aren't good enough. And the fact is you are good enough. You are capable of becoming an amazing photographer. And that feeling of overwhelm and procrastination that you probably have with terms of learning Photoshop, it's totally normal,
Yep.
but it's totally defeatable and you can overcome it. That's if you actually try to. And that's obviously a big if. You have to want to try. So right now, you know, this is the time for you to make the decision and commitment to yourself. So right now you have this big decision. Okay. So option one is you can, of course, keep letting Photoshop scare you away. You can keep trying to come on these webinars and hope that it's going to just click. And it's just not that easy. So you can let Photoshop keep scaring you away from using the program and just accept being significantly more limited in your editing ability and the quality of your photos. Or option two is you can invest in yourself. You can learn the skills needed to succeed and commit to creating amazing and inspiring photos that you and others are proud of. And of course, if it's not now, you know, just ask yourself, when will it be? So the choice is yours. You know, at this point, you can allow Walter and myself to help you use Photoshop to create amazing images you're proud of, or you can choose to try and do it alone. It's up to you. So we all have one goal. We have 2 resources available for you. Number one, you saw Walter using our brand new Uptown actions. That's option one. You can go and get these Uptown actions to help you create better photos in Photoshop. Option two is if you want the tool of the Uptown actions, but you also want to actually learn Photoshop, we are bundling and giving you a chance to save big Walter's Photoshop for Photographers course as well. So in terms of the Uptown actions, here's why so many people are loving them so far. They are super simple to use, headache-free, one-click application to your photos, just like presets in Lightroom. But the difference is you're going to have full control over each and every edit. You're going to easily be able to adjust the strength or effect of each action, which you can't do with Lightroom presets. You can easily mix and match and layer all the actions to give yourself an endless creative options, you know, array in terms of what you can really do with the photos. On top of that, you're going to have a full suite of retouching actions. So you can soften skin, adjust hair, lips, skin tones with ease. And you saw Walter using our shaping lights. I love using the shaping lights. It's the easiest way to really sort of take your photos to the next level by adding cool sun flare effects and other sort of creative looks. All in all, the Uptown actions collection, you get 93 total actions in one easy to navigate user-friendly format. Now, you know, some of you, maybe you've seen some other companies that offer actions. Here's how these are different than the competition. And these are literally from testimonials that other users have already said. Our actions, they're said to be easier to use. They give better results. They're more affordable. And we, unlike others, actually have a money back guarantee, which is pretty huge because others just say, well, it's software. So you sort of got to just give us $100 or $130 and hope that you like them. Not us. We stand by our product. So here's what Danny had to say. She says, when starting out with Photoshop, I did all of my editing without actions. Ugh. The first few actions I purchased from other places just weren't very impressive, and I found I didn't end up using them very much. Cole's actions are easy to use, versatile, and worth using. I can tell you I've already used them more than any of my other actions, hands down. Plus, the amount of time saved editing is dramatic. After all, time is money. I highly recommend Cole's Uptown Photoshop actions. And here's what Sarah had to say. I will honestly say that I think these actions are a game changer. I've religiously used greater than Gatsby actions, and I've always swore by them, but these actions fill in the holes that those actions have. My favorite part is that the skin smoothing actions. I find that other actions I use often have too much power or aren't as realistic, and these ones, especially the porcelain action, are spot on. The different versions of the actions are wonderful too. So here's everything that you're going to get. So those 93 actions break out into these categories. You saw many of these with Walter. You get 17 artistic actions. You get 6 shaping lights. You get 9 enhancement brushes, 3 image toning actions, 3 skin brushes, 3 lip brushes, 5 color temp and white balance actions, 6 environmental brushes, 5 hair brushes, 4 eye brushes, 9 black and white actions, 11 image enhancement actions, 4 exposure control actions, 4 sharpening actions, and 4 vignette actions. Okay, now really quick, I'm going to just explain. If you're wondering I want to learn Photoshop, I want more of what Walter showed me now, then this is what's for you. Okay, so the Kohl's Classroom, Kohl's Click, Photoshop for Photographers course taught by Walter is over 3 hours of neatly organized, high quality video training. You're going to have lifetime access, so you never have to feel left behind or stuck. And unlike this webinar, which is going to disappear forever unless you're a Kohl's Click member, you're actually going to now have lifetime access to refer back and keep and sort of learn at your own pace, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's so huge. Now, this course is perfect for you if you're tired of being limited by only using Lightroom. If you want to be able to produce next level images that really do stand out, like you just saw Walter do. You're sick of the frustration every time you open up Photoshop and don't know which tool to pick or how to use it. You want to learn how to easily do head swaps, sky replacements, and more. You want a training that's to the point and easy to follow without the technical and confusing jargon, which always seems to mess me up so much. And if you're short on time, you want a program that you can easily go at your own pace and refer back to whenever you want or need. So here's our big promise to you. Like we sort of alluded to, your satisfaction is paramount to us. Unlike those other actions or preset companies, we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. You literally have absolutely nothing to worry about. The risk is all on us. And yes, we're serious. We are not just, this isn't just like marketing BS. This is very, very real.
Absolutely.
So here's what's really cool. Okay, so you saw Walter drop in a sky. Well, he's actually throwing this sky overlay pack that we created in for free. So if you want to purchase today, you're going to get these fast action bonuses. So you're going to get the sky overlay pack. You're going to get the natural textures pack to give you cool little, more artistic variety and sort of a little bit extra creativity to your photos that can really make them stand out. That's also a $49 value. Then you're going to have these added actions. So in addition to the 93 in the Uptown Actions collection, Walter went ahead and created even more. So he has 9 more limited run bonus actions.
Which are awesome, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course they are. So altogether, when you go ahead and purchase today, you're going to get $137 in bonuses. You're going to get that both the sky overlay pack, the natural textures pack, the added actions pack. And it doesn't matter if you just want to do the actions or if you want to do the actions and Photoshop course bundle. All right, so here's the special reduced pricing. So you can lock, when you do that tonight, you're going to lock in your bonuses. You've seen that we've had a launch promotion for these things. Well, I haven't announced, you're the first to hear it, but the promotion's ending. The price is going up on Friday, okay? So if you want to go ahead and lock in the prices, now is the time to do that. And that's the link to do it. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat box. So it's nice and easy for you to click, so you don't have to like type that in. That would be annoying. So that's coming in right now. We are now in just a minute. We're going to go and take Q&A. Then go ahead and click that link that I just dropped in to make sure that it works for us. I would appreciate that. And I just also put the link in the chat box. Okay. So right now the chat box is back open. We're going to be taking questions about the Uptown Actions or anything Photoshop related. Let's chat. Okay, so when that countdown clock goes to 0, we're going to be done with Q&A. So let's see what you got, and let's help you out with your Photoshop. All right, so there's always a little delay. Here they come. So Walter, help me out with seeing the questions. If you see something related to the actions, or
Hmm.
go ahead and call it out. And guys, really quick, we have so many of you online. We're going to go ahead and do our best to get to everyone. I saw this first question, Walter. Megan says, "Will these actions be useful for newborn photography as well?"
Yeah, absolutely. These actions are, for newborn photography, any sort of portrait photography, wedding photography, these kind of encompass everything. So you can use these for everything. I mean, you saw me use them for portraits, weddings. I mean, really whatever you want. I mean, landscape photographers, we've had some landscape photographers use these too. So, I mean, you're not limited to any sort of style or anything. So
Yeah,
I
and
also saw someone ask a question, which one is the Option key? It's the Alt key, guys. Yeah, sorry, it's the Alt key. I'm on a Mac.
okay, good, good, good. What else we got, Walter?
They work both for Windows-based computers and Macintosh-based computers. Let's see, pet photography, of course. Yeah, you can use these on anything. Since I upgraded to Windows 10, Photoshop works fine. How do I fix? I mean, with this too, you guys, Photoshop only offers the Creative Cloud now. It's really hard to get just really standalone versions of Photoshop. So, it's gonna be up to date, if you're using the cloud.
Hey, I want to answer this for Joe. Joe says, "Is this Photoshop training different than what's available in Cole's Click?" Great question. This is the same Photoshop course inside the Click. So if you're already a Click member, then you are
Yep.
you're totally fine. Now, Michelle says, "If I'm a Cole's Click Elite member, what's the cost?" Well, you don't want to do the bundle that includes the training course because you already have access to that. The Uptown actions are the same offer for Click members versus just regular Cole's Classroom subscribers.
And Leona asked, how in depth is the Photoshop course? I think it's pretty in depth, Cole. I mean, when we put it together, like we did a lot of head swaps, sky dropping in. We went over color modes. I mean, I would say it's really in depth. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's, 3 hours is the perfect amount because we didn't go and skimp on content, but we also didn't want to give you a 12-hour course going through, to the point where it's just simply too overwhelming. So we absolutely did focus on what is most pertinent for you photographers, but the course has just had rave reviews. As you
Yeah,
can see,
absolutely.
Walter's teaching style, similar to mine, I believe, is just very to the point and very we sort of ignore that confusing technical jargon.
Jenny just said, yeah, I'm a Click member. I love the course on there. So thank you, Jenny.
Yeah, right on, right on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about, do these work in Elements? So here's the deal with Elements. There are some actions that will give you I don't want to say an error message, a notice when you apply the action. And that's just because it knows that Elements isn't a full featured version of Photoshop. I actually had someone who has Elements go through each and every action. And basically what happened was they said the actions actually worked. Everyone, it actually worked just fine with Elements. It's just know that there will be a sort of pop-up notice on some of them that sort of says, hey, Elements, we're sort of missing a handful of features. So for you have two options. Number one, give them a shot because they're still going to work. Number two, you can always upgrade to Creative Cloud, which right now Cole's Classroom has a special, only $7.99 a month, and that gets you the most up-to-date Photoshop and Lightroom. And honestly, that's the way to go.
Which is such a deal. I mean, I remember, gosh, just 4 years ago, I mean, Photoshop used to be just for a non-student version, what, $500 or
$500.
something? Yeah, it was ridiculous. So
Totally.
yeah, that's awesome.
So,
Someone asked real quick. I'm sorry. Someone asked if they're getting a new computer. Yes, you can transfer these actions. You're going to keep the actions in a folder, and you'll be able to transfer them to another computer. There's no you'll be fine with that.
cool. So Ricardo says, hey, Cole, what's the bonuses included in the bundle? So remember, it doesn't matter if you get the bundle or you get just the actions. The bonuses are going to be the same. So the bonuses are going to be the sky overlay pack, the textures pack, which is going to give you this cool creative sort of ability to add texture to your photo, and then the extra 9 creative actions that Walter put together.
Oh, perfect. We're having some questions here too, Cole, on if they want to be a Click member. Maybe throw a link in there too. I mean, I see like 10 people asked how they become a Click member. So
Okay, definitely. I'll keep looking at the questions and I'll go ahead and do that, Walter.
cool,
One
right on.
question is that you can probably speak. Well, it's pretty easy. I can speak to it.
Yeah.
Julie wants to know, is the training about more than the actions? The training actually doesn't really go into much about the actions at all. Remember, I want you to realize something. You have the education and you have the tool. The actions are the tool, and the actual education is the training. So I have a Lightroom course. I have a handful of Lightroom courses. I also have presets. Presets don't teach you the ins and outs of Lightroom. These actions aren't going to teach you how to do cloning. They aren't going to teach you what layers are and what blend modes to use. You can still totally get by with the actions, but that's going to just be the tool. It's not going to give you that extra knowledge. So if you want to learn, if you want to really be a pro, and really be able to function in Photoshop, then you definitely want the bundle version.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Is it easy? We're getting a lot of questions. Is it easy for beginners? If you guys have a general understanding for Photoshop, I think these actions are pretty easy. I mean, you guys saw me using these things. They're one click. And that's one thing when we were designing these, we sat down and, I mean, I looked at my workflow and like what would work the best for the photos that what the photos I take of weddings and portraits and kids. I mean, I got an 8-month-old daughter, and we really tried to make these things as simple but powerful as possible. So they are one-click actions, but you're able to get in there and mask them off if you don't want to. I mean, so the answer to the question is, I believe they're pretty easy to use if you have a general understanding for Photoshop. And if you don't, I mean, that might be one of the things where you want to purchase the course or become a member or something like that. But yeah.
Hey, Walter, really quick. Sorry, I was getting the link for Cole's Click, which, by the way,
No
everybody,
problem.
you might have to search, but I just dropped it in there. Was the question if the actions are good for a beginner?
Yep. Yes, it
Okay.
was.
Let me
Yeah.
speak to that because, as
Please.
you all know, I've been a Lightroom guy. And I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's behind here. Like, I've been quite upfront about me being a Lightroom guy, not a Photoshop guy. And some people are like, what's going on? I'm like, dude, I'm not like teaching Photoshop. That's why I have Walter here. He's the pro, not me. So with that said, I spent a lot of time testing these actions with Walter, and that was great for you because I wasn't a Photoshop pro. So I literally, he would give me the actions and I would say, okay, we need to do this. I want to do this different. And my whole thing was knowing, okay, I'm a beginner in Photoshop. Can I get good results? And the answer is, yeah, I got great results. Some of you probably already saw the demo video of me doing editing. So the darn truth is yes, they're easy to use, and yes, they if it's anything like me, they've actually helped me learn how to use Photoshop, which is killer. Okay,
Yeah.
so really quickly, Terry says, "What's the bundle price?" It's right there on this slide. It's $199. So you get the training and the bonuses for $199. If you want just the actions, they're $79. And someone else said, a couple of you were saying, I already bought the package. Do I get the bonuses? The answer is heck yes. The also answer is I actually emailed every one of you before I announced the bonuses and gave you a link for that. There's obviously a chance that that didn't make it to you. Maybe it's in your spam folder by accident or something. If if that's the case, then go ahead and email info@colesclassroom.com, and we will obviously definitely get you the bonuses. Now, also, you can also maybe do it yourself. Go to the original download link that I gave you, and I've now added the bonuses on that download page.
And people are asking too about using presets in Lightroom. Which one would you use first? And I mean, I've said the same thing. Is you can get about 80% of the way in Lightroom, you guys. So you can do any sort of treatments or presets you want in Lightroom, and then seamlessly bring these photos, from Lightroom right into Photoshop. So it works really great like that. And then you could just dial them in that that rest of the percent that you need, or clone things out, or retouch, or do any sort of adjustments you need to. Also, too, there was another question that came up. How easy are they to install? I mean, they're extremely easy to install, much easier to install than Lightroom presets. Wouldn't you say, Cole?
I was so worried that myself and others would have a hard time on the install, and I literally was like, Walter, is that really it?
I think you
So
texted me and you're like, is that really how easy they are to install?
it's so much more easy. It's so much easier than Lightroom, which is sort of funny because I would have just assumed that they were more difficult. But yes, as soon as you purchase, you're going to get an email with install instructions. You're going to have a video. You're going to have Walter's um, in print, in actual words and screenshots guide how to do it. And it's simple. It really is. I mean, we aren't just saying these things. Like, we are not here to lie to anyone. We are not. We're here to help you guys, and we 100% stand by the product and believe in it.
And then we got a couple questions from Christine and Victoria about using Lightroom and then opening in Photoshop here. You know, it's so easy. If you guys go into Lightroom and literally, let's say you're working on an image, just right click on it and then says edit and then edit into Photoshop. And it brings it right into Photoshop. And then you can even save those images when you're done in Photoshop just by saving or hitting save, and it saves it right to your Lightroom gallery. I mean, the programs work seamlessly together, obviously, because, you know, they're both Adobe products, but it's really great how it works.
Yeah, it's pretty darn slick. And that's the whole thing. I know many of you had, just like myself, a big concern of like workflow. You know, like, we can all have a fast workflow in Lightroom, and we're all afraid that we're going to lose that if we start editing a lot in Photoshop. And the answer is no, you don't have to. You're still going to do everything in Lightroom just like you normally would. Then, and trust me, Walter shoots a lot every single wedding, and he has a lot of pictures to edit, and as do I. And it's as simple as the right click, the edit in, go to Photoshop. It dumps it in Photoshop. You can run your actions, hit save, and it automatically dumps it back into Lightroom. It's pretty darn cool. All right.
It's perfect. Right click on, right click in develop, Victoria. Yep.
In the develop
right.
module.
Yep, exactly. Let's see.
Okay, there was a question here that I want to hit, which was Leona says, is it more advantageous to become a member of Kohl's Click and the actions, or the bundle? Okay, so here's the deal. I mean, the Kohl's Click is a monthly subscription membership community. Okay, so that does get you access to all of our training courses, but at a price. So to be an elite member, it's $49 a month. That gets you access to all of our training, and it gets access to our exclusive private Facebook group. So that's sort of a personal question. Inside that private Facebook group, that's where every day we're answering each other's questions. I'm in there helping out. Walter's in there helping out. So it really depends on you. You know, if you want that community aspect, if you want to be able to work with Walter and I and get questions, then the Elite Kohl's Click area is a great place. If you don't want any monthly fee or anything like that, and you just want this course, then just get the bundle.
Yeah, and it does include the black and white actions. Absolutely.
Okay, Megan, do we get all the same actions offered if we don't decide to buy the training video? Yes, of course. So there's no like giving you more or less on if you buy the training as well or not. It's all the exact same actions. Denise just bought it. Can't wait. Awesome.
Perfect.
Way to go.
And love it. Yeah, perfect. Actually, can I click member?
Emmanuel says, yes, it's amazing and fun. I think you're talking about Kohl's Click. I'm glad you think it's so awesome. Okay, guys, before we wrap up, what other questions you got? Who else got the actions? I want to see. We got 5 minutes. If you get the actions, let us know. Odds are you might already be able to have them installed before we're off.
Yeah, so easy.
Christine, my credit card isn't working. Can I use a checking account? Unfortunately not. I mean, you can use your debit card. Oh, Denise bought too. Ricardo, Helen. Yep. Awesome.
Right on. I can't wait to see what you guys do with these. Seriously. Yeah. I love that. Ashley, I need to talk to my husband. When does the offer end?
That's nice.
You gotta talk to my wife about it.
Awesome.
Right on, you guys.
I have the actions. Everyone's loving them. Okay, so
cool. Right on.
Someone asked about, can you buy on PayPal? Well, I'm very sorry to say that we can't. I mean, I would love to offer that. It just doesn't integrate with our shopping cart. The good news is if you're worried about security, I totally am with you. I had actually credit card fraud I don't even know how it happened because I had my card with me the whole time. It was a pain in the butt. That's why on our page, on our order form, we have a completely secure and encrypted order form checkout. So you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Okay, Lindsay got him. Now just to take the training on Cole's Click. Awesome. Okay, I'm glad you guys love this
Yeah.
this webinar. Okay, Victoria, are you going to have any business and marketing related classes? We have
Ooh.
already a bunch inside
Yeah.
Cole's Click, and we definitely should probably have a webinar and teach some. Shelby wants to know how many cloud packs are there supposed to be in that bonus. I don't remember. I think there's around 15 or so to give you a little bit of variety.
I think there was 7 clouds, different cloud packs, or maybe it was more. I think I included a couple extra just because I found some I couldn't part with, and then we did textures as well. So I think all total it was 15, right, or something.
It sounds about right. That could be the case.
Okay.
I love this comment. Mary says, I'm purchasing it tomorrow and my husband is not around.
Yeah,
You
that sounds
go.
like.
You go, Mary.
uh, well, we
Okay.
loved having you, Evangel. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, these are going to be in zip files, everyone. Okay. So don't freak out. Just you can Google it if you need to. If you have problems on the zip file, unzip that file. Everything's going to be inside for you. Victoria, thanks, guys. Fun and insightful as always. See, Walter, I think we should do this more often. We like to have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, we do. We have a good time. I love it. I love teaching people about this and having a good time. This is great.
All right. I'm so glad that I like that. Christine says, I'm buying it even if my husband is around. LOL. Okay, so I gotta say, someone says leaning towards purchase. Thank you. Here's the deal. If you're leaning towards it, just do it. And here's why. We have a darn refund policy. That's for you. That's your security blanket.
Yeah.
Right, Walter?
That's it. Yeah. If you don't like them, we don't want you guys to have them. Seriously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. We aren't trying to we aren't pulling the rug over everyone's face here. This is we spent months putting this together to help you make better photos. And you're completely protected by our warranty, our refund policy. Now, obviously, we aren't trying to say this to I don't want people to take advantage of it because that ain't cool. I paid Walter a lot of money to go ahead and do this. You know what I mean?
There was a lot of time, developing these. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not fair to us. But on a serious note, if you're on the fence, just do it. Because if you're either going to love them or you're going to love them.
I love it. Can you use these on JPEGs? So absolutely you can. I know with Lightroom presets, sometimes it's different for different camera formats and something, things, different files. Photoshop doesn't discriminate like that. So whatever, it's going to work on your JPEGs just fine.
Yeah, totally. All right. Danielle says, have you guys used greater than Gatsby actions? How do these compare? I never have. What I can tell you from the research I've done and what Sarah said in her own testimonial is I believe many of the feedback that I've gotten is many of the greater than Gatsby actions oftentimes can be a little bit over the top in terms of the effect that is applied. So if you really want over the top looks, then those could be a great choice. If you really want something to give that extra flair, but not come off as too Photoshoppy, then I think these are a great fit. I can't comment on how easy they are or not. I can't say is ours are extremely easy because I worked really hard with Walter to do that for you. Mm-hmm. And lastly, ours are more affordable. I can tell you that much. Absolutely. They are absolutely cheaper.
Absolutely. I think by at least $100. And with the Gatsby ones, and I've used those, you guys, I feel like the Gatsby ones just have a ton of stuff in there and it's just a lot of filler. It's a lot of potatoes, and that, but with these, when I design these, I've used all the actions, that are out there. Everything. And I really design these to just be very powerful and really get in there and tweak these photos to where, they look awesome and not just a bunch of filler stuff in there. So yeah, I think these just work a lot better than the Gatsby ones, to be honest with you.
Right on. Okay, guys. So I think we're going to wrap it up. Let's go ahead and take 2 more minutes of questions because we don't want to leave you hanging. There's still 300 of you here. But then we are going to call it a night. So what do you got? This is
Will you be doing more actions, Lynn? I'm
Maybe.
always down to do more. You know, I was just talking the other day. I'm like, gosh, there's some like more actions I would love to come up with. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe we'll
you
see.
never know. I mean, the truth is, if you guys all love these things, and if you want more, then I'm pretty sure we can have Walter create some more for you guys. All right. Well, classmate, what are the bonuses included? Once again, you're going to get um, you're going to get the uh, the sky overlays. You're going to get the textures. You're going to get the extra actions. All right. Ricardo, unfortunately, there is not a document explaining what the actions do. You're going to sort of have to, I mean, as you can imagine, having 100 freaking actions, that was a little bit gnarly. But but yeah, we do have sort of a listing on the product page that has them all by category. So you'll very quickly get the hang of it. All right, Walter, let's hang it
Okay.
up, buddy.
All right. One more. I see Marcus, and I've seen this question a couple more times. Is this going to be replayed at all, Cole? This webinar or anything?
Yeah, so basically, we're going to have a very limited replay. We're going to have it
Okay.
available for only like the next day or two. So you're definitely going to want to not miss that if you need to watch it again. Um, I believe that the actual link, once we're all done here, the link that you had to log in here will probably also take you to the replay. So you can do that.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'll be sending in one email tomorrow letting everyone know. All right.
Awesome.
Sherry wants to know, what is the extra $39 add-on? Okay, so that $39 add-on, that is actually a Lightroom workflow course. So in that course, it's normally $79 on my website. For $39, you can add it on during your order process. And it basically shows you how I edit from start to finish inside Lightroom. We walk through an engagement session where we edit the whole thing down in about 30 minutes.
Ooh,
So
love that.
yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much. And Walter, thank you, buddy.
Thank you. We'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye.